Welcome, foolish mortals, to Flipper Flicks. We are your hosts, your ghost hosts. Kindly place your headphones on and make sure you're comfortable. There's no turning back now. Our tour begins here in this episode, where you see paintings of some of our reviews as they appeared in their corruptible, mortal state. Your cadaver's pallor betrays an aura of foreboding, almost as though you sense a disquieting metamorphosis. Is this haunted intro actually stretching? Or is it your imagination? And consider this dismaying observation. This podcast has no exits and no pauses, which offers you this chilling challenge to find a way out. Of course, there's always my way.
That was a beautiful intro.
Thank you.
Is it the highway or?
Yeah, exactly. it is the highway.
Or the pause button.
No, there's no pause button. I said that in the intro. I'm Adam. Yeah, there's no pause button. Like, you got to just make it through the 90-minute episode that we have today.
Can we talk for that? I mean, I know we can because we did it for like Twilight, but consistently talk for that long, it depends on the source material. So we'll see if
with
we
this
make
source
it
material, I'm bumping it up 150 minutes.
I don't think we'll make it that far.
240. We're staying here for 4 hours talking about this film.
I don't have enough content for that. Maybe Tim does. He'll have to. He'll have to get us through that.
No.
Anyway, I'm Sam. We have social media. We are on Instagram and Twitter at Flipperflix. We don't talk much on there anymore, but we are still there. We will answer if you reach out, and it's nice to, give us a follow in case we decide to come back. We also have a website, flipperflix.com. That's where you can recommend movies for us, and it's getting close to the end of the season, so we're going to start a new wheel, and our list is getting kind of short. We've gone through a decent amount of recommendations, so if you want to send us some, that'd be cool. Or, DM us your recommendations. That'll give us a chance to decide that we want to be back on social media.
Right.
Otherwise, you can just show up for the episodes every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on your favorite podcasting platform. I just found out there was one called Verbal or something.
I'm pretty sure the guy who made it emailed us and I emailed him back or something.
Oh.
There was an exchange at one point.
There was an exchange. Because I was just looking on the internet, and it was Flipperflix on Verbal, and I was like, what the fuck is Verbal?
Yeah.
So anyway, if anybody knows what Verbal is, let us know.
I do a bit, but not enough.
Sorry.
I was on there for 5 minutes and I was like, oh, okay. Because we have to, with podcasts, you claim them, right? You had to be this is mine.
Mm-hmm.
And I do that a lot.
Well, yeah.
I just okayed another one called Podvine.
Wow. See, if we don't do our reciting of the podcast platforms, it's actually going to be a decent length here soon. They just keep making them.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's it for social media. Turning it over to our third ghost host.
Oh,
boo.
She's bringing back that intro. Ooh.
Full circle. Hi, Tim. Hello.
Hi.
How's it going?
I have the movie synopsis for you today.
Well, what category do we do?
I don't know.
You don't know? It was our Halloween special.
Yeah,
Part one.
Special.
Part one, yeah.
Part one, yeah.
Part one, yeah. Because Halloween's so good, there's going to be multiple parts.
Yeah.
Yeah. We decided Christmas gets the same, possibly.
Yeah.
Did we?
Maybe. I don't know.
We don't know.
Okay,
It's 2 months away. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll think about it. You'll hear from us.
You
never know.
haven't bought all your Christmas gifts yet?
No.
Oh, okay. Wait, what movie did we watch?
So the first movie we watched for our special is The Munsters. Not the old one, the 2022 one. So spoiler alert.
Just came out.
It did just come out. So here's the synopsis for that, because it's a really good synopsis.
Is it the best synopsis?
It's pretty great. In this reboot of the 1960s sitcom, Transylvania vampire Lily falls head over fangs for lovable, lumbering monster Herman over her father's objections.
Is that what the plot was?
Yeah.
Supposedly.
That's about it.
Okay.
Don't know that it says much, but it says this movie is quirky and goofy.
Those are words.
Is it?
Yeah.
Those are words.
Those are words.
So this movie's rated PG. I looked it up because I was
Yeah.
like, what is this movie?
Yeah, sure.
But we watched it on Netflix. I don't know if Tim, you said that.
Netflix, yeah.
Yeah, and it gets funnier because you could go and buy this movie. We were at Target the other day, and I'm like, I thought this was like a Netflix original. Not the case.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
yeah,
like on DVD?
Yeah.
The weird thing to me is it's directed and written by Rob Zombie.
I know.
Yeah,
It
so
doesn't make any sense.
That was so weird.
That's how I knew about this movie because I saw it like on probably Reddit or something. Like Rob Zombie's doing a Munsters movie, and I'm like, lol,
Yeah.
what? Anyways,
So
yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but Herman, the only thing I can see when I see his face is Sweet D.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why, but I seriously feel like that's just Sweet D in a costume.
I'm looking it up.
Maybe it's his eyes?
Oh
I
my
don't
god,
know
I know
what it is.
why. I know why. It's because she does the Frankenstein episode. Like she does Frankenstein.
Yeah, she does Frankenstein. Yeah, and that's what I literally picture.
Yeah, like when she's back in the school.
I could not get it out of my head. Yeah.
Okay, so
Oh,
we actually
man.
just watched that episode like last week or so,
Mm-hmm.
but I did not even connect it.
I can't undo it. Like after I saw the picture of Herman, I was like, it's literally that's it. That's Sweet D just making a voice and walking around.
Now you say that, and I will also say her comedy skits are probably as good
As
as
his,
Herman's.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
So, had anyone seen the original Munsters? Because I
I
hadn't.
don't think so.
No,
Okay.
I don't know why I was
It'll
like,
be
we
on
gotta
there
do.
for you.
So we kind of skipped past the expectations, but I will say my one expectation was Trainwreck.
I mean, we can still do them, but
Nope, they're gone. Yeah, I know, but no, I heard things about this one, and I was like, interesting. I normally like discussing train wrecks.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds really bad to say
Mhm.
because, like, anyways, yeah, they're just fun. It's just a fun conversation for us because we're like, what is happening 90% of the time?
Mm-hmm. This is
So.
true.
But yeah, those were my expectations.
I hadn't seen the old Munsters, but like I don't know, reboots can be fun sometimes. But Adam had told me that the internet's was like this movie's a piece of trash, and I was excited for it because I like trashy movies.
There's a limit though.
There is, it's true. Like
Yeah.
you can't be half trash. You know what I mean? You got to be full all
Yeah,
in
full
trash,
trash.
or not. But Tim,
Something like The Room.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, I was not really looking forward to this movie. I don't know that I've ever seen the 1960s one. Probably for the same reason that I really didn't know about this movie or care to. I had heard that it wasn't great, but I also heard that it's okay. And then when I was watching it, I was told that it's a prequel to the show, and I didn't know there was a show.
Yeah, like it's a
Ah.
prequel to the original TV show.
It felt like there was supposed to be more, so that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
The whole show is them living on 1313 Mockingbird Lane.
Oh,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I expected a train wreck. Yeah.
But you weren't looking forward to it.
yeah.
I was
No.
I was
Uh-uh.
hoping it'd be just like so bad that I could laugh the whole time. Like,
Right, that it'd be good. Yeah.
Mhm.
I will go ahead and say ahead of time, like that was not my case. Most of the time I was like, what is this story? Because like I couldn't suspend my disbelief. Like I could get there.
Mhm.
Like throw me into a monster movie, I can get there. But like I didn't know what the actual plot of the movie was. Like because yeah,
Right.
like they eventually like get like they meet, they get married, they move to like LA. But that's not like typically you're kind of told the idea like in the first 10 to 20 minutes of the film, you know what like the goal of the movie is.
Yeah, and I would say like that's where this one fell apart because it felt like we just kept introducing new characters. Like, Tim, I know you haven't seen Cats, but it was very reminiscent of Cats where it's
yeah.
and here's another character, and they're going to tell you about their life, and here's another character.
Yikes.
And it was like, that is what it felt like to me. And you do hear, like, oh, she's on a date looking for love. But, like, most of the time, that's not a big enough plot unless it's, like, a fucking rom-com, which I did not think this was. So I was confused that our whole plot line was just her trying to get married.
That's it.
Like, I was like, and there's more, right? And then the more never happened.
It was very reminiscent. I'm curious how much of it is like the original sitcom, because like they would do like that heart-shaped like zoom in on people.
Oh yeah, the old school sort of, yeah.
And it felt forced to me.
I was gonna say it kind of like reminded me of like Scooby Doo or something.
Dude,
like
I had that reminded me of the 2000 Scooby Doo movie.
Yeah, like it felt older, and I was like, how much of this is trying to be a callback to that obviously none of us have seen? Because there were other spots like when they were driving in the car that it felt like they were just trying to recreate something old, like when they first get to Hollywood, when they're in Paris. Like I'm like, okay, so that is what I would assume the old version was. So then how did we get to the rest of the film that we're watching? Like, I just didn't know. So, yeah. And I feel like a lot of it was that. Like, they were probably smashing, like, stuff together that people might recognize and then trying to build off of it, too. But I didn't feel like the jokes were landing. Like, there were only... it was less than 5 times that I laughed and thought it was funny. The other times I was like, oh, that was supposed to be a joke. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, great.
Tim, did you catch in the background at one point the Nosferatu looking dude was eaten by his rats?
Yeah.
See, I laughed at that part.
Yeah, I mean, there was kind of a few things like that, little Easter eggs that were somewhat funny.
Those were the funny parts. The Easter eggs.
Yeah, and I actually kind of liked that they tried to make it old school at first.
Yeah.
I agree.
With like the hearts and shit, and they did some other things with that kind of stuff. And I actually really did like how it was filmed. Like I like everything looked like a set, like it was built.
It was.
I mean? And so, but you could tell that it was built like a sitcom, like an old school sitcom.
Yeah.
So I actually kind of enjoyed those aspects of it.
I think it was the plot and the dialogue that was my main issue.
I would agree with that because, like, I actually did have that written down as well. Like, the highlights of the film are, like, almost like the vibe, if that makes any sense. Like, the sets are really elaborate and they look really great. The costume, the makeup, the hair, it looks really great. Like, if you would have done your job with the writing, this would have been a good Halloween film.
Right.
Like, that was kind of what angered me, is I was like, this world is, like, visually appealing, like it's beautiful to look at, and like I really enjoy this. Like, why is it such trash? Like that, it was making me angry at certain points.
And sleepy.
Yes.
We may have napped in the middle. I did almost nod off at one point, and there was a bit of guilt in that because I typically don't, like, if I'm watching a film for the podcast, I'm pretty like I'm not gonna fall asleep. I felt myself do like the little head fall. I'm like
nodding.
Shit.
Yeah.
Shit.
It was like right around when they got married. Because like, okay, at that, it's been an hour into the film when they get married. And that's the only plot point that you know. So you're like, why do we still have an hour left? Like, what is going to happen?
Yeah. Like, it seems like the Count didn't want them to get married. And he didn't try very hard.
No, he didn't.
And
he made like one spell. And then he was like, oh, I messed that up. I guess you win some, lose some. And then they were married.
And I'm like, what? I thought this was going to be the main conflict.
All right.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, I feel like the show was like lighthearted and funny. And so, like, they don't actually have any villain. Like, that's just my speculation based on the tone of this film. So, like, he was more of like a bumbling idiot type villain that wasn't trying that hard.
I think I figured it out. This should have been like 3 or 4 separate television episodes.
I wondered if it would have played better if it was like a limited series.
Because if you think about the conflicts, they're small conflicts. Small conflicts work for like TV. But you need a major conflict for a film. And them selling the house, they're like, I guess we'll just move to LA. And it's like, that's all they did. There was no like anger, resentment.
Yeah. And there's just so many characters. Like, the first half of the movie, you have, like, the guy that brings Herman to life and his sidekick.
Dr.
And then
Wolfgang. Let's use their
Lester
name.
is more...
Floop.
I don't even know who Floop is.
Floop
Yeah.
is, you know. Floop.
Oh, Hagrid?
Yeah, Hagrid.
Oh,
Oh, may
okay.
he rest in peace.
Yeah. So there's, like, that whole shebang. There's the 2 dead guys that die, and then they gotta, like, obviously try to bring him back to life.
Yeah.
And then there's the whole Munster. You got Nosferatu. Like, there's just a lot going on in the first part of it. And then I feel like those characters just drop off. And it's like, okay.
We also met all of those rats, and that was important.
That was great. I remember when I was watching that, I was like, this is so fucking dumb. I don't know why they're doing this. But now that I'm looking back at it, I'm like, I'm glad they did that. I don't know why.
It's because he was eaten by rats.
Yeah, I think so. There was another joke that I thought was funny. Like, this was the one part that I remember laughing out loud, was when he arrives at the castle and he's like screaming up to the dad, and then the dad answers the door and he just keeps screaming in his face. Like, I enjoyed that part. I was like, this is great. Why isn't the whole movie like this?
Did you have a favorite? Did either of you have a favorite character? Tick tock, tick.
I guess Herman.
tock.
If I had to pick one.
I'm trying to pick one.
Let's have Sam give her reasoning for Herman then.
100% the screaming scene. That's it. Okay, and I will say, like,
his laugh.
yeah,
It
was too much. It was too much. It was too much.
It was bad, but good.
It was funny like the first time. Second time I laughed, but by the third time I'm like,
Yeah, like towards the end of the movie, you're like, can you stop?
which I split into 4 episodes. Maybe I'm not that way.
Yeah. I was going to say, I would have said Lily, but she annoys me because she, like,
It's her hands.
her hands and, like, her airy voice, like, it was weird. I didn't like it. And then the dad wasn't in it, like, enough for me to make a judgment. Like,
Really?
he was at the beginning, and then I felt like he was gone for a while, and then he came back. But maybe he was there the whole time, and I just forgot that he was in part of the film. Adam, who was your favorite character?
I'm gonna go with Lily.
Really? The hand movements weren't as
Okay.
bothering.
It did bother me, and I think that's why it's more of. I feel like the actress went for it.
Hmm.
She went hard.
Fair.
Did she, or did she just get the part because she's Rob Zombie's wife?
Apparently, both Rob Zombie and Rob Zombie's wife, Sherry Zombie, are obsessed with the Munsters.
Oh, okay.
Like, obsessed. So much that Rob Zombie named the song Dragula. Like, probably his most well-known song.
I don't know that song.
Yeah.
Dig through the ditches and burn.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Dragula. That's named after the Count's car.
Oh,
That's funny.
Dragula is a car name.
nice. Well, okay, so you liked
Lily, but just out of respect.
I want to change my answer. My favorite character was the dragon they rescued from Paris.
Oh shit! That's a good one.
He
Yeah.
was so
Like-
cute.
Tim's still thinking over here.
I am. I honestly.
You can say Igor. We know you loved Igor.
Yeah, Igor. It probably is Igor.
He actually had some funny lines.
Yeah, he was good.
Like I think this had a lot of aspects that it was close. It was like it was close to goodness, not greatness, goodness. For me, let's say that.
Sure.
Yeah, and I think Lily also bothered me because she sounded like Mrs. Puff from SpongeBob, and I couldn't
She is Mrs.
unhear
Puff.
it. She is?
No.
I was convinced she was until I saw it was Rob Zombie's wife. I was like, there's no way Rob Zombie's wife is Mrs. Puff. That would have been wild, though, if she
It would have
was.
been. Yeah, no. You had brought up Scooby Doo earlier, and I was like, I felt because we just watched. Tim, have you seen the Scooby Doo movie in like the last 10 years?
The live-action one.
Like, yeah, the live
Yeah, I
action.
think so.
So
Yeah,
we
I
just
can
watched
remember
it.
enough of
We just watched it for like our Halloween marathon.
Yeah.
Because we're those cool kids that
Mhm.
watch Scooby Doo still.
Yeah.
And the sets were very similar to the like, because I mean it's spooky. This is spooky. I don't know. I just was getting Scooby vibes.
Yeah, I was wondering if, like, some of it, I don't know enough. Here's my unprofessional hat that I'm putting on. Was like they used practical effects for both of these,
It
maybe.
could have been that.
And so, like, we're so used to seeing like a bunch of CGI. Like, they could have easily
Right.
done this movie and just made the whole thing fucking CGI.
Right.
But I don't think that it didn't look like they did.
No, definitely not.
Yeah. One of my main questions I had early on is, who is the target audience for this?
Yeah,
Like,
I was wondering that too.
I was gonna say, Tim, you got any answers?
Tim, let's hear your rant on this, Tim.
I don't even know because it feels like the old one. It had a sense of like adult, like it was meant for adults that maybe have seen the old one. And, like
Yeah.
it's kind of supposed to be nostalgic, but at the same time, it was like so childish and like it had a lot of like Herman's laugh and Nosferatu and stuff and all the rats and all this goofy shit happening that it seemed like it was for kids.
Right.
So, I was lost in everything. I don't know. I couldn't figure out who it was
Fair.
for.
It could have definitely been like a family film, and I would believe it, right?
Right.
I wondered if it was meant to compete with like
Monster Family?
no, not Monster Family, like Hocus Pocus. Like it's supposed to be like an older, because I wouldn't say that like, I mean maybe young kids watch Hocus Pocus too, but like Hocus Pocus is like a nostalgia movie, right? And then they revamped it for us. Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying like I felt like they were trying to like bring it maybe into a new generation, and they were hoping it might land with like our generation because we like know
Right.
Rob Zombie. You know what I mean? And it
But
was
do we
meant
really
to like
know Rob Zombie?
apparently not.
Feels like this was probably just a passion project.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Like
I'll get
they could
into
do
that.
it, so they did.
Right. Like, he apparently loves the Munsters. They are obsessed, which
Yeah.
is kind of cool that both the couple love it.
Right. Yeah.
Like, good for them having shared interests. Who does that these days? Wait, what? My question for this film was, why does the son-in-law? How can a son-in-law who has
Yes.
never stepped foot in a house
Yes.
sign over a deed?
hmm Yes.
Tim,
Yeah.
please explain this to me.
Tim, put your
Yeah.
lawyer hat on real quick. I know that you specialize in bird law,
But we're
Law,
asking you to
specifically.
specialize in monster law.
monster house law.
Yes.
Well, you see, they brought the dragon back, and so they forfeited because if you hurt the dragon or you put it in the place, and then there was rats. But then the dad, he's the Dracula,
But he's not. He's
Uh,
just the count.
but now he's the count. But but he drinks the blood, and then there's the brother that's a werewolf that shows up randomly at times with the gypsies, and then the gypsies were married at one point to the dad. So then the dad and the ipso facto, the other Herman's made of other people. So then if you take Herman plus Lily and the other people equals he signs for the deed. So then what's hers is his, and then the dragon is living there. So then the count says 1, 2, 3, and
Do you want to wow?
you got just signed over. The end.
That was
Wow.
beautiful. I gotta
Yeah.
say, I'm gonna call filibuster. I don't know. That's just ridiculous. Like that part, I think was the most irking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just weird. Like it was like it didn't make any sense. So I don't know.
I feel like you did a good job of summarizing the movie, though.
I think you nailed about every plot
To
point.
be honest.
But I will say you might have misordered them for those
That's
listening.
okay. That's okay.
But
That's about how my
I
brain
like
works. That's
I like
alright.
how Tim said it. I liked that he used dragons.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Yeah,
I was a
dragon.
fan of that.
Mhm.
And the dragon was the cause of it. But he wasn't a dragon. He was more of a drake because he had no wings.
That's true. He didn't have wings, and he was kind of water going. Yeah.
He was a sewer drake.
Yeah.
But I liked all your points. I think I'm gonna lean on his side.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
It only makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did either of you catch Herman's star sunglasses?
Yes.
I need some of those, and I think Sam, maybe we'll get to the bat wings.
Yeah, they had some good sunglasses. Well,
Yeah.
except for the plain black ones at the end. But
Yeah, he puts the plain black ones on. You think this will be okay?
Well, they won't notice me.
They won't notice.
I like how he called like all of the normal people freaks. He just kept calling them
Yeah.
freaks, and it was hilarious to me. I was like, oh my god.
And the count was, I liked the count. He was I looked up a picture and he actually looks very, very accurate to the original count.
Oh, that's good.
So
I wondered, I mean, it's hard for it not to be accurate because you got like a Frankenstein type character, an Elvira type character. The Count was really the only one that had like kind of a unique look.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's true. And I don't know the fact he was blue.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
fucking the Count from Sesame Street over here.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Well, I mean,
That's what I
Count's
was getting
purple,
at.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's purple.
Still.
1, 2, 3.
Classic stuff.
And before I get to the cat, I'm out of notes, by the way.
Well, I want to ask you guys.
We're like 25 minutes in.
If you would take your first date to a dinner with your dad, because come on, like that seems so awkward.
Yeah.
Your first date is a family dinner?
Yeah, it's a little weird. I was trying to think. You met my parents pretty early on.
Yeah, but not for dinner.
Not for
It was
dinner.
just like popping over.
Yeah, that's true.
And I feel like, I don't know. I was just like, dang, talk about pressure for poor Herman.
Herman, here's a Count. What about you, Tim? You taking Rihanna to dinner on her with your parents on the first date?
No.
No.
I don't know when she met them.
She did though.
Well, yeah.
No, but I did want to ask both of you, what is like your go-to like actually like funny Halloween film?
The Dead Don't Die.
That's a classic.
Yeah.
Not
Shaun the
everybody
Dead,
agree.
probably.
Yeah, Sean. See, I think more people are going to agree with Tim on this one.
Yes, because his is an actual comedy, whereas mine, you have to appreciate.
You do have to appreciate. Like, there's
Yeah.
some very hipsterish thing to say about that, but you're like a Halloween snob. You gotta appreciate the Dead Don't
You
Die.
got to understand it more better.
No, there's nothing to understand. You just have to be willing
You
for
have
the
to accept
ride.
Appreciate
You just
what
have
it
to
is,
accept it, arrive, accept it, and enjoy it.
'cause it's a beautiful film.
Which maybe that's what Rob Zombie wanted us to do with this film. We were just supposed to arrive and be here for it, and none of us were.
We just weren't there for it,
We
man.
didn't
It
show
missed
up
the mark.
for it. Yeah.
we weren't the mark.
Yeah.
And like I feel that I was gonna say the Dracula Dead and Loving It.
That is also a classic.
Gotta get
And
some
I've never seen that one.
Mel Brooks and
An
whatnot.
actual comedy. If we're talking actual comedies, not just ones that make me crack up because they're great. Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse.
Ooh,
I don't
classic.
know what that is either.
Oh, you would like it, I think.
It's an actual horror comedy.
Yeah.
You don't have to appreciate it. You'll just appreciate it. Like
Let's see.
right off the bat.
So it's Scout God. Oh,
We have it on we got it on Vudu, Tim.
whoa.
So I can send you
It
the
actually
link.
looks good. Just seeing the cover and then the first scene of the trailer not playing
Yes.
looks already great. Like I can already tell it looks good.
Yes.
I get some Shaun of the Dead vibes just with
Just
like
looking at it, that's what I think of.
yeah, you're not gonna get like the British humor, obviously. Like
Sure.
that dryness that you get from Shaun of the Dead, but so classic.
But the same sort of stuff, yeah.
I need to watch this.
But yeah, do either of you have any more notes?
No. I mean, I just kind of the only thing that really got me to chuckle without like a forced chuckle was Herman's jokes. They were so bad.
They were
but it's-
so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So
I didn't write any down. I was just like, I don't have any reason to write them down. But
all right.
They were like dad jokes, basically.
yeah.
yeah, essentially.
I've got a terrible joke that is very Herman-esque.
Okay.
Okay.
Sam, I've already told you it, so this is more to Tim.
Okay.
hmm
So did you hear that like Mortal Kombat got its theme song from Scandinavia?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, that's a question that you say no to, and then I'm like,
Yeah.
a-
No, I didn't know.
it's finish him.
Jesus Christ.
He laughed, though.
He did laugh. Say it whooshed
It
Sam.
whooshed me. I was like, what is happening?
Why? Oh shit! Also Zombieland. There you go.
We got it on
That's a proper laugh.
yeah, we got it on like fast soundboard clicking now.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
hip with the youths.
But you were also
you-
saying you like Zombieland. Is that what you said, Tim?
Yeah, Zombieland's
That's a
also up
classic.
I
there.
liked the second one, but the first one was just like whoa.
It was so good
What?
for the
The first one
time.
was great.
No. Like, whoa. I was not expecting
you
it to
mean
be
like
this good.
Yeah, that's fair.
It was
I
like,
see what you're saying.
yeah, I felt like it snuck up on everybody. Like everybody wanted to see it, and like, I don't know, it did really well, and it continues to hold up. Like we
does.
watched it, and I was like, yeah.
And I would say that holding out for Zombieland 2 for like 10 years was the better move, because you can't just follow, like, if something is so surprisingly good, following it up like in 2 years, you're going to just get bad results.
Probably.
Yeah, I don't remember much about the second one. Like, I just remember it being like, it was fine for a sequel. You know what I mean? Like, it was, it wasn't like awful.
Yeah.
It was just there. You're like, oh, I want to watch the first one now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Like, I feel bad that, we didn't talk about this film very much. Like, this is the most we phoned it in for an episode, guys.
There is.
There's got to be more to talk about.
They did a great job with the set. They did a great job with the character designs.
I thought you were going to just leave it at that. Like, because you had such a big pause. Like, I was like, damn.
I will say that every single character, I don't think that any of them phoned it in.
I don't think so either.
They all went hard.
Yeah. And I'm always going to have that part where Nosferatu's dancing if the tombs rock and don't come a knocking, like stuck in my head. I feel like that must have been from the original, right? Like it had to have been.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because they gave it such a big moment that I was like, why? At the time, I was like, why is this happening? But now when I look back, I'm like, hee hee.
Tee hee hee.
Tee hee. Not enough
Sam's
to watch
like,
it again.
That's what Sam was like.
Yes, definitely.
Oh, you spoiled it. I'm just kidding. But you want me to get to the cast?
I guess.
Sure.
There's like 4 people in this movie.
I got 6, but whatever. Lily is...
I'm going to cut you off one more time. As I was complaining about the amount of characters, there's really only like 4 that you pay attention to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lily is played by Sherry Moon. Sherry Moon Zombie.
Yes.
Classic name. She's in The Devil's Rejects.
Oh, I've heard of that.
That makes sense. I'll get to that in a minute. Herman is played by Jeff Daniel Phillips.
Don't know who that is.
He's in Westworld. He's in a couple things.
I kept thinking he was going to be somebody big because his voice didn't sound that off to me,
Right.
but then I couldn't like place it. And then I Googled it and I was like, don't know.
Yeah, I was about to say he's in It's Always Sunny.
That had to have been it.
The Count is played by Daniel Roebuck. He's in The Fugitive, which I feel like Tim has seen.
I have seen it.
I just feel like it's Harrison Ford back in the day. I'm like, Tim's probably seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah. That's a good call.
Dr. Wolfgang, the guy who created Herman, he's in Kingsman.
Yeah, he's in a lot of stuff actually.
Yeah, he at one point is interviewing Eggy.
Oh.
Or
okay.
he's interviewing somebody. Eggsy, not Eggy. I like Eggy better.
Me too.
Eggy works.
But he's also in Doom. Like 2005 Doom.
Yep.
I don't know who the fuck he is in that, but
he's one of the are they Marines or I don't really know what they
whatever The Rock is.
Yeah, like the
Space
special
Marines
task force that comes in. Yeah, he's one of those, I believe.
Oh. Now I do know who Floop is.
Floop.
Jorge Garcia. He's in Lost.
Nope.
No. He did Nobody Knows I'm Here.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about because that's the first thing I pictured.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, that's the guy from Survivor, and then I went,
wait,
nope.
TV show.
He's from Lost.
wrong Survivor.
Yeah.
Similar idea, different show.
Yeah.
Yep.
Different network. Now, Igor is probably, we've all have seen him in something. He is played by Sylvester McCoy. He is Radagast the Brown.
Wow. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't follow.
In The Hobbit, he's the other wizard that like lives in the woods. Did you see?
You lost me.
Did you see the Hobbit movies?
Yes.
So in the
probably the first one.
Yeah, I think
in the first one, before they get to Rivendell, they run into Radagast, and he talks about how his hairs are faster than any warg. I don't know. I know too much about this stuff.
Yeah, he has like the bunny that run around. Not ringing a bell.
Not ringing a bell.
I mean, I looked him up and I get it now, but I don't.
Nope.
Tim was like, that was too long ago.
Yeah.
And as we said, the director of this film is Rob Zombie. Okay, so we were like, this has to be his passion project. He's never directed before. That's very wrong. He did The Devil's Rejects.
Okay.
He did Halloween in the when they tried to bring it back up in the mid 2000s.
So he did like the rebooted version.
He rebooted Halloween, and he did Halloween 2. His wife is also in Halloween,
but not Halloween Ends. He
don't
got
think
off the train after it was officially rebooted. He was like,
he got
"You're
kicked off of
welcome."
Dracula. Yeah. So he actually directs, and I was like, what? He in the movie Grindhouse, which is a Quentin Tarantino film, there's a bunch of fake trailers in it at one point. And he directed one of them.
Nice.
Because they brought different directors in to do the fake trailers for this other movie. It's weird. It's meta. It's film directing and directing. Yeah. No, I liked Dracula in my younger days. I remember listening to it. They put it over top of my whitewater rafting trip.
Nice.
It's pretty cool.
It sounds epic.
But
Pretty sweet.
yeah, no, pretty cool, bruh. I probably bought it on iTunes too, knowing me.
I feel like Tim used to listen to it as well, and he's just not
yes,
saying
he
so.
Oh, no, I did. I don't know anybody from our era that didn't listen
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah,
That's what I was gonna say.
Like, but I never ended up listening to much else by him, which is kind of interesting.
I don't think I did either.
But
There's not a lot that I did, no.
That was the popular one.
yeah,
Pretty much.
came out in '98.
Damn. That's not when I listened to it.
No,
to be
not
clear.
at all.
I listened to
I
it when I was
know.
in like high school.
Right.
Right.
But for the Munsters, the critics gave it a 48%.
Dang.
Audience with 35%. IMDb with a 4.6 out of 10. That's low.
That is low.
And Google with a 62%.
Damn, that's low for Google too.
Yeah, that's very low for Google.
Yeah, so who wants to go first?
I will go first.
Yeah?
I wanted to like this movie because of the visual effects and the setting and how nice they did, but no, please don't turn it on. It's not good. They could have done better, I feel like, and I just don't know what happened. The end.
Tim?
Go ahead, Adam. Go ahead.
You want me? I'm going to say no as well. I did think they
Oh.
tried, I thought they did a good job with it outside of the dialogue.
/story.
/story. Yeah. I think if the story was there, the dialogue would find itself.
Probably.
I just didn't understand the plot. And I think it was so simple. They got married, moved to LA, but there just wasn't enough conflict for me, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
That's a weird thing to say.
Mm.
Or for the length of the film.
Yeah, it was nearly 2 hours, which is wild. But Sam probably would have been on the cutting floor. Yeah, and Tim, you want to wrap us up?
I'm surprised. I thought you were going to turn it on, to be
Oh.
honest. So, as terrible as this film was, I don't think those scores are correct. I don't know. For some reason, I'm going to say turn it on or flip it on.
Really?
Yeah, and it's I think it's because it's like if you think about if you have a child and you're, I don't have children, but I feel like it's an okay film in that situation, or for people that are nostalgic about this, but I think it's just not R3's types of film. It's just not for
Probably.
us. We're not the audience, but we couldn't figure out, and that's probably why we couldn't figure out what the audience was. So I'm going to say flip it on because it's probably okay for a very niche people.
Just like
His
Twilight.
background noise, it's not horrible. Like if you're doing something or you have people over and you have the movie on, it's like one of those. It's just background
You're
noise.
hosting
Instead
a
of music,
Halloween
you
party.
You literally have it on as background noise, and every once in a while you hear, and you're just like, oh, what's that? And you hear like a dad joke or some shit.
I was going to say,
But-
Tim just wants the dad jokes constantly playing in his
Yeah,
house.
pretty much. And it's like it's just kind of like it's just there, but I think it's there enough that it would distract a child.
Oh yeah.
So
I think it's
I'm gonna say
ADD-ness.
flip it on.
Its ADD-ness
Yeah.
is perfect for
Yes.
a child's attention
Yeah,
span.
exactly.
I will also
So-
say that I agree with you, Tim, in that, like, yeah, I thought it was bad and I'm not fucking watching it again, but I didn't think it was that bad. Like, Google gives
Right, that
everything.
is-
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to Google. Somebody raked it through the coals pretty hard because
Yeah.
usually they're not that savage.
I know.
And I don't know that it deserved that much of
No,
a
that
shit
seems like
on.
too harsh.
Yeah.
Compared to some of the other movies we've done,
Monster Family.
Oh
is-
my God.
Yeah, exactly. Like that is far worse than this movie somehow. But I think a lot of it also is just like the scene, and again how it was filmed and all that good shit is just much better. There was effort in those areas, right?
Yeah.
They did more better.
So
They
more
did.
better.
More better. But yeah, so Halloween's coming up. And
Yeah.
we got part 2 next week.
Electric Boogaloo. Tune in to see what we picked.